So bonus actions are what now? Do I have 3 action points? No, man, it's about keeping things simple. There's 4 action points. That's it. Let's talk about Indominant's hybrid action economy. Almost every TTRPG has some special way to handle combat, whether it's with bonus actions, action points, or some other kind of thing. Indominant's no stranger to combat. So we wanted to make sure that every turn in combat is quick and simple, but very strategically customizable. So what even is hybrid action economy? In simple terms, it's a quick combat system that lets your superpowered hero manage their action points, or AP for short, essentially allowing them to use different types of actions strategically. These actions could include things like a main or minor action, or even movement actions, each one with their own AP costs. Every super has 4 action points per turn, and instead of being locked into a strict move and attack kind of structure, you can mix and match these to combo any action types that suit your needs for the battlefield and what's going on. Let's break down each action type so that way when your turn comes around, your super can jump into combat. Free actions, 0 AP. So let's start things simple. These cost nothing on purpose because you can only do them once per turn. It's usually reserved for a quick bit of dialogue. Let's just say that you ducked around a corner, you saw a threat, and you're trying to roleplay with your super and telling your other teammates, hey, look out around the corner, or I see a trap, or there's something else coming out. It's taking that time as playing your super to roleplay that bit of dialogue. Perhaps a threat has just appeared on the actual battlefield, and it appeared behind you. And so you don't want to face your backwards, or else you're going to allow them an easy attack on you. So why not face the enemy head on and give yourself the best chance at being able to defend against that. And sometimes there are some powers or talents that allow you to use a free action to use them. Those you'll get more on as you grow and level up your super. Minor actions, 1 AP. So usually these are the kind of lesser powers in your power set, but they allow you to set up some big things for your main action to happen. Perhaps applying a status effect early on to make it even easier to actually hit your actual targets. Perhaps they're just a quick, impactful kind of thing, or maybe something that you're just applying to an ally or to yourself just to buff yourself up and to continue on with the battle. Main actions, 2 AP. These are your bread and butter powers, the ones that deal a high amount of damage, as well as probably deal some negative status effects that are going to stick around for a long time, or even better, a combo of both of them. You can also use your main action to evade. This allows your enemies attacking you to make attacks against you with weakness for 1 round of combat. Again, a strategic use of your AP that you can take up at any moment, and it doesn't matter what archetype you are or power set, an option for you to be able to use. Movement actions. The first movement action costs 1 AP, the second costs 2 AP, and any time after that still costs 2 AP. So it's time to get moving. What does movement look like in Indominant? First of all, movement works by referring to your movement value that is available to you per archetype that you choose as a super. Every super has that, so just refer to that. Really, all supers and threats have a base value of 6 movement value, and Hunter as an archetype has 7 to start. You can split your movement without having to use an additional movement action. So as an example, let's just say I want to peek around the corner. I'm going to use 2 units of my movement value to do that peeking around the corner. Then I'm going to use a main action to blast whatever I saw around the corner, and then I'm going to step backwards around the corner. With that, I only used actually 1 movement action and 1 main action to do that combination together. Movement actions can also be used to disengage. Disengaging means that you are stepping away from any threats that might be encircling you, giving you just 1 chance to move 1 unit away and avoiding all potential reactive strikes that those threats may have on you as you walk away. Finally, let's imagine this. There is a hostage across a large gap on the battlefield and you need to get to them. Maybe there is a bomb about to go off, a lever you need to pull, or maybe there is an ally that is about to have a threat get in front of them and you want to jump in front of them. And so you make a leaping action to jump right in front of that position that you're looking for. Leaping actions allow you to move 1 plus half your might or half your agility, whichever is greater, to move distance and height forward. And it can be up to the value equal to your movement value. So just keep that in mind when there is potentially that gap that you do need to clear. Next, let's talk about performing a check, which only costs 1 AP to do. Need to scan the battlefield to look out for a threat? Do a sense check. Need to use fire powers to burn a hole through some kind of door? Use an infusion check. Perhaps you need to free a trapped civilian that's underneath a car, underneath a boulder. Maybe an athletics check can be used, or even a might stat check. Now, stat and skill checks in combat are always up to roleplay, so the comic editor may call for different kinds of stat or skill checks, but it's always fun to be able to find the appropriate skill that makes the most sense in the situation. Next, let's talk about something a little more tactical, hold action. It costs 2 AP to use right now on this turn, but it allows you to gain 1 AP for your next turn. So maybe you're in a tough spot where you just don't have line of sight to the threat that you're aiming for. Perhaps you want to spring a trap when a threat is lured over to you. So this allows you to gain a bit more AP for the next turn, so that way you can dish out even more main actions, maybe move and do 2 main actions, more things available to you, all because you strategically held back for 1 turn to deal some big damage in the next turn. Only important thing with hold actions is that you can only hold action once per turn. So you can't stack up holding up your actions, it's just the one time. Now let's talk about reactions. They cost 0 AP, but you only get 1 reaction per an entire round of combat. Now some powers, some talents are going to be using a reaction, and usually it's based off of something happening to you or happening to an ally, like somebody getting hurt, somebody yourself getting hurt as well, but either way you're going to want to make sure you're very aware of what reactions you have available to you. Other things that you can use your reaction for is what's called a reactive strike. When a threat or a target moves out of melee distance, which is 1 unit away from you, then you're able to use a reactive strike, which is a base power, to go ahead and try to potentially hit them before they move completely out of your range. And this allows you to potentially stop them or get 1 quick jab at them as they're running away from you. But keep in mind, if they used a disengaged movement action, then you won't be able to use a reactive strike against them. And some powers and talents don't allow it either. Regardless, a reactive strike is something that you'll want to keep account of. Make sure that you're aware of all your reactions that are available to you for your power set. Now we reach signature actions. 3 AP to use. There are your epic, ever-growing, ever-evolving powers that you've worked on, you've trained on. These are things that you unlock at level 6, and they continue to get stronger every single level after that. And there's something that you're going to be able to not only craft mechanically all on your own, but also being able to craft thematically, explaining how that signature action is actually used on the battlefield. Really fun stuff, but they are the strongest ability, and make sure that you use them outright when you actually need to. So let's put this all together and have an example of how you would use actions in combat. So you're a fire manipulation bruiser. You have some of the highest HP of any archetype, as well as a high amount of damage reduction. So even if you take a damage, you're going to be able to reduce that down, putting you in a great role to be right in the front of any combat, protecting your allies behind you. And wouldn't you know it, combat ensues. You jump right into the action, moving immediately right in front of that threat as a movement action. Then you bring your arm back, start bringing fire all over that fist and deal a fire blast, dealing massive amount of damage to that threat. As a free action, you look back at your friends and say, "I got this, guys." And then you go back to your other arm, start putting up a whole bunch of fire around it, and deal a massive brutal strike. It's an archetype ability that deals a high amount of damage to that threat. So not only have you dealt a high amount of damage, not only have you put yourself in a great position on the battlefield, but that threat is not looking so good anymore. So whether you're leaping around buildings, dodging laser blast, or saving the day with one fiery punch at a time, no matter what, the hybrid action economy is going to be able to give you a lot of different strategical options on the battlefield, as well as being able to roleplay and being able to have fun with your actual team as well, and strategize how you take down the biggest threats in the galaxy. If you like this, please comment, please leave a like, and even consider subscribing. We're trying to make even more content, and we're really excited for what we've been up to. As well as, you can also check out our pre-order backer kit store. It has our first core rulebook that will be coming out next summer in 2026. Really excited for that. We also have our Patreon, which you can support us further. If you support us on Patreon, you immediately get access to our play test, which you can actually provide even more feedback on as we're developing our actual core rulebook as well. But with that said, I'm Ricky Rivera, signing off from Odin's Key Gaming. With that, hope you have a good one, and we'll be seeing you soon, Supers.